I guess I don't really need a mask, but hey, why not? It's here. Okay, so we're answering some of your questions, and again, some good ones this go around. Hopefully, everything's going okay. We are into week 2. Make sure you're signing up to group exercise, group personal training via the app, unless you are already a member. And if that's not working, please let us know. If you have any questions, if you don't feel like you're getting support, please let us know. We are here for you, we are your resource. So, question number 1. This is a good one, and actually, this has been a great one. If Emily was going to be here, but it's just me, so I get to give my unfiltered opinion. So Kelly wants to improve her running, not necessarily running speed, not necessarily her pace, but the duration. Go a little bit longer, right? I think ultimately your goal, Kelly, is a 5K. But I think you say, make a good point, like just get a mile first. And remember, every single journey begins with that first step, right? So, what's the best way to improve your running? Well, honestly and truthfully, giving up trying to run and just lift may be the best call. She's not here. She can't tell me I can't say that. However, what I do like about what you're doing here, Kelly, is you picked a goal. Goals are super, super, super helpful and important when it comes to a fitness journey, because if your goal is just to lose weight, gain muscle, lose fat, that's great. But having something specific really, really focus you, really help keep you accountable, really give you something to shoot for beyond just the basic metrics, right? I'm a big proponent. Not a big running guy. I think we should all be able to do it. I think we should have it interspersed throughout our workouts throughout the month. But running a lot as your primary form of exercise, there's definitely a downside to that. But I think running a 5K is a great goal. So congratulations. My first piece of advice: if you haven't already signed up for one, and it can be a little hard here in Corona land to find a 5K, but maybe next year look for something that you can sign up to give you a definitive destination, right? So what's the best way to do it? Well, honestly and truthfully, my advice here is just do it. You can play around with pacing. There's some absolute benefit to that, but if your goal is long distance, then start at a shorter distance and over the course of time build. That's going to look a little different for everyone. So let's say you have a hard time running around the block. Okay? So once, twice, maybe 3 times a week, try to get through half without run, and then walk a little bit, and then run a little bit more. Once you can run that whole block, then guess what? Do it twice, do it 3 times. Really, Kelly, the best way to do it is simply to do it. There's this little mechanism inside your head that tells you this is starting to get tough. It's time to slow down. It's time to start or stop. Push past that a little bit. Now, obviously, if you're hurting, if there's sharp searing pain in the ankles, the knees, the hips, back, stop immediately. But if it's just you're having a little bit more of a hard time breathing, then try to be uncomfortable for just a little while longer. Be tougher than you think you are. Doesn't mean kill yourself, but what it means is push past your comfort zone. Take it to that point where it's starting to get uncomfortable, go a little bit longer, and then rest. You do that over a course of time, I promise you this, you will notice improvement. So yeah, that's the best piece of advice I can give you. Want to get better at running? Start running. Just be consistent with it. Barb, off of her question, off Kelly's, I've neglected running lately. I am starting a program I've used in the past, 3 to 4 days of walk, jog, run. I'd be happy to share. Okay, cool. Yeah, Barb, please share that. Again, I wouldn't do much more than 2 days, maybe 3, especially if you have a race coming up. But just be really aware of hips, knees, your low back. Make sure everything feels good. Remember, running is a skill. Running is an art. So make sure you're practicing running form as well. And yeah, and you can reach out to us for that. Barb, is it okay? This is actually a really good question. Barb's been bringing the great questions. Is it okay to eat the same thing basically every day for breakfast and snacks, or should you mix it up a bit? Well, at the end of the day, mixing it up is probably your best bet. However, I understand, as I think most people understand, that that is more work, right? You have to be more creative with your cooking, you have to be more creative with your grocery shopping, it takes more time. So, my advice to you is for a couple of your staples, maybe breakfast and lunch, some consistency in your nutrition is fine, right? Have basically the same thing every day. That's okay. Shake it up on your dinner if you can. Shake it up on one of the meals if you can. That might be a nice balance for you. That's a hard time, if you basically have to eat the same thing every day, understand that you will have imbalances in your nutrition, which we all have anyway. And that's where something like a multivitamin can come into play to help kind of fill in those nutritional gaps left by a bland diet, especially in a so long and the short, if everything's pretty well portioned out, if you're eating pretty consistent meals across the board, that's okay. Make sure you try to shake it up a little bit when you can. Also get a multivitamin. Um, Barb again, man, Barb, you got so many good questions. She doesn't buy a lot of almond milk. Her husband likes milk. So the question is skim 2% better, whole milk better? That's a hard one. At the end of the day, if it's just a little bit here and there, dealer's choice. Yeah, have what you want in moderation. It doesn't really matter, right? If you're having a cup a day, it's not that big of a deal. Um, Understand that skim milk goes through more processes. So I think the more processed the food is, just inevitably you're going to lose a lot from that. However, skim milk has less calories. There's less saturated fat in that. And it's basically protein and sugar, right? Like in whole milk, I think the whole milk cup's like 150 calories. Skim is like whole milk has more fat in it. That is not necessarily a bad thing. Fat has an important plays an important role in something called satiety, right? Feeling fuller longer. So, at the end of the day, if you're not drinking a lot, whatever, if you're drinking a lot of milk, and just take a look at it in conjunction with the rest of your diet. Is the rest of your diet okay? Then, maybe have the it up. Maybe one week do skim, one week do whole milk. I personally don't drink a lot of milk myself. I tend to go towards whole milk. Again, it's just going through less processes. I feel a little bit better, more comfortable with that. Skim milk's protein, sugar, whole milk's fat. So again, in conjunction with a well-balanced diet, it's not super important. And everybody's a little bit different. You respond different. Different people respond differently to milk-based products. Some people it gives gas. Some people it gives rough indigestion, heartburn. Some people process it just fine. So not a right answer, not a wrong answer. But again, as long as your whole diet as a whole, I should say, is pretty well balanced, doesn't really matter. And for your purposes here with your husband, take a look take a look at what he's eating, and then just kind of go from there. If he needs a few less calories, maybe go for skim. If he's not really worried about that, then maybe go for whole. It's less processed, and fat can help with satiety. He might actually eat a little bit less throughout the day because of it. And then this is a great one. Next week is the 10-year anniversary. Barbara again. She's going to have some wine and chocolate. She's wondering how to kind of prepare for that. That's a great question. I just had a birthday recently. How do you prepare for that? Real simple. This one's actually really, really simple. Eat what you normally eat up until that point, but maybe eat just a little bit less, right? Because we're going to be in a caloric surplus. So, again, eat as healthy as you can around that day. Maybe eat just a little bit less to account for the extra calories you're going to be getting in. So let's say if your anniversary is on Wednesday, you normally get 2,000 calories in your diet on Monday and Tuesday. Maybe get 500 calories less. Maybe get 1,500 calories on Monday. Maybe get 1,500 calories on Tuesday. That way build yourself up to a 1,000-calorie store that you can kind of splurge on just a little bit. But I would eat the same things, just maybe a little bit less. You can do a lot of damage in one day. Just understand that. So don't go super, super, super crazy off the wall with it. But again, it's life. You want to be able to enjoy it. You don't want to have to restrict on an important day like that. So eat a little bit less. We'll go moving up to that date. Eat a little bit less after that date. And then, enjoy the day. And congratulations, by the way. 10 years is a long time. I'll be 10 years with my wife this year, not married, but together. So, Barb, great questions. As you guys think of them, share. I mean, this is a community. Kelly and Barb played off each other with this a little earlier today. If you have a question, there's no such thing as a dumb question. Just ask it. We'll be happy to answer. And we don't have to do it simply on these question and answers. We can do this, just with a simple comment. I can email you. You can direct message me. You can email me. Heck, give me a call at one of the clubs. Not a problem at all. Happy to be here for you. Thank you, everybody, for the great questions. Keep them rolling. We'll do this once a week. Hopefully next week, it might be the week after we have Emily. If I can get Emily next week, I'll bring somebody else in as well. It's more fun bouncing back and forth, bouncing ideas. They have other perspectives that maybe I don't, though I do feel like I know the most out of everybody of all time. So just ask my wife. So guys, thank you so much. Hopefully this helped. If it didn't, share in the comments. All right, guys. Have a great